Let me tell you a story about the incredibly influential singer Frankie Valli, a seasoned artist in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, today he is a widely forgotten artist with an underappreciated talent. Many young people in our society do not know the name Frankie Valli or the major influence he had on the music. Frankie Valli redefined the rock music industry with his incredibly influential falsetto voice and his musical group, the Four Seasons. We may have all heard a few of their songs, however, do not remember the name associated with them. I know I was surprised to learn I knew many of their songs and had just never thought of who the incredible singer behind them was. One of their top hits was Sherry. In the 1960s, Frankie Valli and his music was well known and loved. However, while his music may still be played and appreciated today, Frankie Valli himself has been forgotten. During my speech, I will tell you all about him and his group, as well as why I believe he has been forgotten. In this speech, first we will be discussing Frankie Valli's journey to becoming an artist and the hoops he went through. Next, we will be discussing his life outside of music and the consequences he dealt with due to his strenuous career. Finally, we will be discussing why he as an artist is forgotten today. To start this speech off, first, let's discuss his music career. Frankie Valli had quite the journey to becoming a well-known artist, through many hoops before getting to where he is today. Frankie Valli grew up in the rough streets of Newark, New Jersey, known then only as Francisco Stephen Castelluccio. Later on, he decided to change his name. In his biography on the website Biography, it states he changed his name after continuously listening to his favorite artist and realizing he would need a stage name. It also states he changed his Castelluccio to Valli with an EY at the end, and then eventually changed it to Valli with an I. Frankie began hanging around some troublesome kids. These boys eventually became his singing group. In the movie Jersey Boys, which is a movie based on real events in Frankie Valli's life, Frankie gets talked into helping these boys steal. Frankie and the boys end up in court. However, unlike the other boys, Frankie gets out with a warning. Eventually, these boys invite Frankie to join their musical group, and his career takes off. Frankie started out singing in small bars and restaurants for people who had never heard his name. The musical group, whose name can constantly change, consisted of Frankie, Bobby, Tommy, and Nicky. They picked up gigs where they could and finally decided on a name for their group when they went to sing at a bowling alley called the Four Seasons, as shown in the movie. Frankie and the group finally decided it was time to try and get a record label. And while they did it, it was not exactly what they were hoping for. They first started out as backup singers. The Four Seasons started out small and slowly worked their way up to selling more than 100 million records, starting according to the Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons website. Now that we've seen how his music career came to be, let's discuss how his life outside of music. Frankie Valli's life outside of music had many turmoils and complications that led to the strain in his relationships in all aspects of his life. His career caused relationship strains with his wife as well as his kids. While continuing his career, Frankie met his first wife, Mary, and got married in 1954. He was still an amateur singer at the time. After a couple years of marriage and his career taking off, the relationship began to see a lot of strain. Mary began drinking while Frankie was on the road, and the relationship took a hard hit. In the movie Jersey Boys, Mary shows concern of Frankie's music career being more important than his family. According to the website Biography, the two ended up splitting in 1971. The website also states Frankie had 3 other marriages, divorcing his last in 2004. According to the book Marriage, Divorce, and Remarriage, written by Andrew Cherlin, the divorce rates began to rise in the early 1960s and doubled off between 1968 and 1976. I can't say that all of his divorces were due to his music career, but I'm sure that they had part to do with it. Frankie Valli also had fatherhood strains due to his musical career. From all of Frankie's marriages, he had 7 kids and 1 adoptive child. His musical career caused fatherhood strains with his kids. Frankie did not have a very good relationship with any of them due to his long hours of his job. While on tour, Frankie's daughter, Francie, ran away from home, causing him to fly thousands of miles. In the movie Jersey Boys, Frankie steps up to fatherhood and finds Francine and signs her up for singing lessons. Not long after stepping up to the plate and becoming the father he should have been all along, Frankie gets the call no father ever wants to get. Frankie's daughter, Francie, overdosed. Francie overdosed on Quaaludes and alcohol. According to Quaaludes' book, written by Justin Gass, Quaaludes are drugs that slow down the function of the brain. In an article written by Richard Freeman on the death of Francine Valli, it states that there were rumors of suicide. After his daughter's death, Frankie was in a funk for a while until in the movie Jersey Boys, Bobby made him sing a love song. Finally, after exploring his musical career and life outside of music, we can talk about why he as an artist is forgotten today. As an artist, Frankie Valli was a very influential, but today he and his accomplishments have been widely forgotten. One reason that Frankie Valli and his music is not as widely listened to and remembered is because rock music has changed and evolved over time. There are new artists that the new generations resonate with better, and one reason this may be is that there's a smaller age gap. Another reason younger generations may connect with newer music better is the terms that they're used and beats. As well as the new artists, they also have come out with new forms of rock music. There are many, many forms of rock music, too many to name. With that being said, there are also more artists, more songs, and more genres. That means there's less of a chance of you just coming across one of Frankie Valli's songs. The top rock songs from this generation are the songs you tend to hear the most. Another reason could be due to many people not being born during the same time his music was popular. Some of us may know his music because of our parents or grandparents, but we do not know his name. Finally, there are just so many other genres of music people enjoy listening to. According to Play the Tunes website, hip-hop and rap are the most popular music genres in 2020, the rock being number 5. In the generation, people tend to listen to music made from this generation, causing music made in years before to be forgotten. This speech has been about musical artist Frankie Valli. In the speech, we talked about Frankie Valli's life. We discussed how his musical career started and where it took off to, as well as the complications it created for him. We also discussed why he has been forgotten today. Even though Frankie Valli is forgotten today, his contribution to the musical industry with his incredibly influential falsetto voice will forever stay intact. I challenge you to go out and learn more about Frankie Valli's life and his contribution to the musical industry, as well as to watch the movie Jersey Boys.